Hello everyone and welcome back to another SportStatMedia video. I am your host Andrew today, and we are going to be taking a look at my rankings for the 2020 NFL starting quarterbacks. Now for this case, we are not going to be looking at rookie quarterbacks. We're just going to exclude them because they would all be put in the same category of rookie or unproven. I've been seeing a lot of people doing this kind of tier maker or a tier of the NFL quarterbacks lately, so I decided to hop on the bandwagon train and do one myself. I might have a little bit different opinions than somebody else, so if you disagree with anything that I say, go ahead and comment your takes down below, and while you're down there, go ahead and leave a like and subscribe, and let's dive straight into it. So for me, there are 6 total categories that I'm going to include here. Number 1 is going to be elite. These are the guys that are going to take you to the Super Bowl. They're going to be clutch in the playoff situations, and they're going to be the ones at the end of the game that you want the most out of any other quarterback to have to be able to win you the game in a 2-minute drive. And then next up is good. These guys are right below that elite level. They have proven themselves in the league, and they are getting to become that elite quarterback status, but they aren't quite there yet. They need a Super Bowl ring or maybe a couple of playoff wins to put them in that elite category. Next after that, we have the potential category. These are guys that have the potential to be good or elite quarterbacks, but we haven't seen enough of them yet to really be able to put a precise pinpoint on where they're at right now and how long it'll take them to get in the future, or if they will be solid or bad or a bust potentially later on. They have a lot of potential right now, but they are still unproven. Next up is the solid category. These are guys who are going to be able to win you football games, but they're going to require a lot more talent around them, running game, and some other things that a good offensive line could be another aspect of that. But they are going to be able to win you football games, but they're not guys that you're really going to want to have on your team to have to count on at that 2-minute warning if you're down by a score. So they are solid, but they're not elite or good level yet. And then next up, we have the bad category. These are just guys who are straight up bad. They throw a lot of picks, or they, don't have the mobility that you look for in some quarterbacks, or the accuracy, etc., arm strength, some other factors. These are guys who are missing an aspect of the game that they really need to work on to perfect in order to move up into that solid category to be solid starters and get wins for a team. And finally, we have the bust category. Now, this is going to consist of players, like it says, who are bust. These guys have not done anything in the league thus far, or noteworthy at least, and they don't really have the talent to really move themselves up at all, so they're going to stay where they at currently. So I really want to start off in this bust category. So the first person to me, and this may not be a shock to anyone, is going to be Mitchell Trubisky. We're going to put Mitchell Trubisky in that bust category. He's good, but he's not great. We've seen at good times Mitchell Trubisky can be kind of MVP caliber, but he has good talent around him. Anthony Miller, Allen Robinson, they have a good running game with David Montgomery. Maybe we'll improve this season, hopefully. They also have Tariq Cohen, some other guys around that team. They just drafted Cole Kmet at tight end, but we've seen Mitchell Trubisky perform well, but up to this point, he is not good, to say the least. He does have a little bit of talent, but he cannot throw whatsoever to his left, as proven by stats. If you want me to go into that on a later date on this video, go ahead and leave a comment or leave a like so I'll know that you want me to go back in and detail on why Mitchell Trubisky can't throw to his left. But for me, he's the main guy that's going to go into that bust category, and he's not going to be able to be a starter in this league for more than at least 2 more seasons while the Bears are looking for their replacement. They obviously traded for Nick Foles this offseason for a 4th-round pick, and up to this point, we don't believe that Mitchell Trubisky will be a starting quarterback in the next few seasons. Now the next guy that I'm going to put into this bust category may come as a little bit of a surprise, and that is actually going to be Jared Goff. I'm going to put Jared Goff in this bust category simply because he has the talent around him, and he did bring them to a Super Bowl, but it was mainly based off of that ground game, Todd Gurley, Sean McVay having a good game plan, and they had an amazing defense that season with Ndamukong Suh, Aaron Donald, etc. Jared Goff, I don't really feel like he has good progression in the game, and he could be doing better with the talent around him and the coaching. Obviously, they'll have a new offensive coordinator this season, Kevin McConnell, and we'll see if Jared Goff's play improves with him. But overall, I don't see Jared Goff being a guy 2 to 3 years down the league. I don't see him being in the league anymore. So, Jared Goff in the bust category as well. Next up, we are into the bad category, and the next guy that I have selected is Jameis Winston. Now, obviously, Winston threw 33 touchdowns last season, 30 interceptions. So that's the main knock on his game, is he doesn't really, he throws a lot of touchdowns maybe, but he gets a lot of interceptions as well. So with Jameis Winston, you're looking at a guy who might put up big numbers for you in a hot, heavy passing offense, but he's also going to make a lot of turnovers. He also fumbles the ball sometimes, and he just doesn't really have good accuracy, strong arm. But Jameis Winston can make throws at times, but sitting under Drew Brees is a good option for him to maybe potentially get better. That LASIK surgery hopefully will help him. I really like Jameis Winston as a quarterback if he lowers his interception totals, but if not, I see him staying as a bad quarterback in this league. Now, the next guy that we're going to put into this bad category is Kyle Allen. Now, Kyle Allen, a guy who started some games for the Panthers last season while Cam Newton was out. We've obviously seen them get rid of Cam Newton thus far, and now they're going to bring in Teddy Bridgewater. I didn't include Bridgewater in this because he was a backup last season, only started 5 games. So we're going to go ahead and roll with Kyle Allen here. But anyways, Kyle Allen has good accuracy, but he doesn't really have good decision making thus far. He loses a lot of fumbles, and he makes a lot of turnovers with interceptions, etc. We've seen Carolina be able to be good while handing off to Christian McCaffrey, but other than that, their quarterback play has been subpar, and we'll see if Teddy Bridgewater can come in and revitalize them. Now, the next guy I'm going to put into this category is going to be Mason Rudolph. Now, Mason Rudolph started a few games for the Steelers last season. They also had Duck Hodges. Those two guys really both will be in the bad category. I don't really see them, either of them, being potential starters in our league. They're missing a lot of aspects. Obviously, Mason Rudolph got into the altercation with Myles Garrett, and we'll see how that all unfolds over the next year. And I don't expect Mason Rudolph to really be a guy that we see 2 to 3 years down the league. Next, we're going to go ahead and move into the solid category. And the first guy that I'm going to put in there is Gardner Minshew. Now, Gardner Minshew has had some good games thus far. We've seen him be clutch in situations, Minshew Mania, obviously, but he didn't really have a lot of talent around him. D.D. Westbrook, DJ Shark, maybe a few guys, Keenan Cole at times, but we haven't seen him have a really A-plus cast. But if he did, I think that he would make the playoffs, but I don't think he's a guy that's really going to carry your team to the playoffs with only a few guys on the roster. So that is why I put him in the solid category here. Next up, in the solid category, we have Andy Dalton. Now, he just signed as a backup to the Dallas Cowboys, and I think that was a really good signing for them because he is solid, and with their supporting cast, he may potentially be able to win them some games if the Dak Prescott contract negotiation doesn't work out, but hopefully for the Cowboys it does. If not, a lot of teams are going to be after Prescott in the next few seasons. Andy Dalton has some good accuracy. We've seen him make good plays at times, but he's not an elite quarterback. Haven't seen him really win a lot of playoff games in his career. So if he does that, may potentially move into the good or elite category. but we'll have to wait and see on that. Next up in the solid category, the guy I'm going to put in there is Phillip Rivers. Now, Rivers last season put up a lot of good numbers, 23 touchdowns-ish, but he also threw a lot of interceptions, around 20. So you really look for him to kind of fix that interceptions with the Colts and their game plan and their better offensive line, but they do have a good supporting cast, so that's why I went ahead and put him in the solid category, as he's nearing the end of his career at this point. Next up, we have Jacoby Brissett. Now, the Colts have two solid quarterbacks in their room, and then make it three if you can get Jacob Eason to really develop with his arm. But Jacoby Brissett shows flashes at times. I really expected the Colts to make the playoffs this season. I thought that they were a really stellar team with Andrew Luck, and I thought Jacoby Brissett was going to be able to take over for him. But with the signing of Phillip Rivers to overtake Jacoby Brissett, I could see Brissett eventually being traded to a team like the Patriots, or maybe another team looking for a backup quarterback to their up-and-coming youngster. So I see him as being kind of a bridge quarterback around this league, but he will last in this league a long time with his solidness. Next up in this category, we are going to put Ryan Fitzpatrick. Now, Fitzmagic is one of my favorite players in the league. We've seen him make plays time and time again, but Ryan Fitzpatrick is only a solid guy because he's been a journeyman around this league, shows flashes at times, able to win you games, but he's not a guy that you're really going to go after in free agency. You're not going to go hard after him and throw a lot of money at him. He's really a bridge guy for the next guy to come in, which with the Dolphins is Tua, and he's nearing towards the end of his career. He was contemplating retirement this offseason. So really expect Ryan Fitzpatrick to kind of fill that bridge role in Miami and hopefully be able to bring Tua into the next level. And the final guy I'm going to put in this, actually the second to last guy I'm going to put in this category, is going to be Derek Carr. Now, Derek Carr can win you some games. We've seen it before, but the Raiders have not had success to this far. They will have a better supporting cast next season, so we'll wait and see if Derek Carr can perform better. But the AFC West is going to be very challenging this year with the Chargers, the Raiders, and the Chiefs and the Broncos all looking to make a playoff push next season. The next guy I'm going to go ahead and put in this category is going to be Ryan Tannehill. Now, Tannehill shows flashes at times, has great accuracy, but he really relied on a good supporting cast in Tennessee with Derrick Henry, Corey Davis, A.J. Brown, Jonnu Smith, some different guys that were good playmakers in Tennessee, and it's only going to get better from there with Darrington Evans coming on and their improved offensive line. Hopefully, Isaiah Wilson can take over for Jack Conklin with that loss, but Ryan Tannehill, a guy who's going to win you some games, but not really a guy that you're going to push hard after free agency. I was surprised to see the Titans pay him big money, a 4-year deal, but I think he's 31. He's going to start declining soon, so maybe you start looking for an option in the next coming drafts. The next guy I'm going to put in this category is Jimmy Garoppolo. Now, Jimmy Garoppolo last season brought the 49ers to a Super Bowl, but he did have a strong running game and a great supporting cast, especially his head coach Kyle Shanahan drawing up those offensive plays. Ultimately, we won't know who blew that Super Bowl lead that they had over the Kansas City Chiefs, but Jimmy Garoppolo, only a solid starter in my mind, and he's not going to be a guy that you really are going to look for coming the few next years in the league. Ultimately, I don't think he'll end up being a starting quarterback after 5 years, so we'll wait and see with the Jimmy Garoppolo situation. Next up, the next guy I'm going to put in this solid category is Matt Ryan. Ryan, we've seen him make a Super Bowl also, but he puts up good numbers, but he struggles to get wins recently. We'll see if Dan Quinn's system will work next season with Dirk Koetter and Raheem Morris taking over as that defensive coordinator after a strong finish last season. They finished 7-9, and they're going to try to make a playoff push in the hard NFC South with Tom Brady, Drew Brees, and the Panthers with new and improved defense, all trying to contend in that division. And the final guy that I'm going to put in this category is going to be none other than Aaron Rodgers. Now, Aaron Rodgers may come as a little bit of a surprise here, but I don't think I've seen a lot from Aaron Rodgers recently. I think he's starting to decline towards the end of his career, and I think he'll only be solid and he'll only go down from here. So we'll wait to see on that, but Aaron Rodgers obviously has had Devontae Adams, he brought in Devin Funchess, Marquez Valdes-Scantling, Aaron Jones, some other guys, Jamal Williams, and their defense was very good last season, but they made it to the conference championship and blew it hard to the 49ers, so Aaron Rodgers in the solid category for me. Next up, we're going to move into the potential category. Now, these are guys who have the potential to become very good starters in this league, but we haven't seen enough from them yet, talent-wise and wins-wise, to really move them up into that good and elite category. So, first of all, we're going to go ahead and put Drew Lock in this category. Now, Drew Lock, a guy that I really do like. I think he has good arm strength, and he has good decision-making for the Broncos last season. They're bringing in a new offensive coordinator in Pat Shurmur, and I'll look for Lock to really improve next season and potentially bring the Broncos to push for a playoff spot in that hard division. Next up, we'll put Dwayne Haskins in this category. Now, Haskins didn't really have a great season last year. We'll wait and see if he can, really improve, throw a lot of touchdowns. They're going to have a new offensive coordinator and head coach come in there, kind of turn over the culture. Ron Rivera, a very defensive-minded guy, so we'll wait and see how that offense performs. But for me, Dwayne Haskins, still unproven. Whether or not he's going to be bad or good is left up to see. Next up, the next guy for me is going to be Baker Mayfield. Now, Baker Mayfield may come as a little bit of a surprise. I didn't put him in the bad or solid category, but Baker Mayfield, I think, has the potential to be good. Kevin Stefanski is going to come in, really going to overturn that system, make it a heavy run-based system with how he had it with Dalvin Cook last season. They're going to have Kareem Hunt, Nick Chubb, some other guys who can make plays downfield, Odell Beckham, Jarvis Landry, and the tight end Austin Hooper coming in free agency. So I think Baker Mayfield will be much improved next season, especially with that offensive line. Jedrick Willis is going to come in there at that tackle spot. So more time to make decisions, and Freddie Kitchens last season really screwed up the Browns, made terrible decisions, going for long plays whenever their offensive line can't even hold up for more than 2 seconds. So expect Baker Mayfield to be very improved next season. The next guy I'm going to put in this category is Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold, 3rd overall pick by the Jets. We wait and see how he performs. He got hurt a little bit last season, and Trevor Siemian had to come in and play some games, some other various guys. But I think Sam Darnold can be a great starter in this league. I think he just kind of have to improve some of his decision-making and get a good head coach and system in there for him. Adam Gase is not the guy, I believe. And we have to see a better supporting cast for Sam Darnold if he wants to be great in this league. Next up, the next guy we're going to put in the potential category is Kyler Murray. Now, Kyler Murray, a guy who I think will shock a lot of people next season. He's going to be an MVP-type candidate, putting up great rushing numbers and great passing numbers. But we haven't seen enough from him yet. But for me, I believe Kyler Murray will be great next season with DeAndre Hopkins, Larry Fitzgerald, always great. Some different guys, Akeem Butler, Andy Isabella, some other name, Christian Kirk. That's just to name a few, and they're going to have a strong running game with Kenyon Drake. People forget about how good he was last season, putting up great games against the Browns and others. So we'll wait and see how that Cardinals team performs next season. I think the big question will rely on the defense, how Isaiah Simmons translates, how if Hassan Reddick can really bring some potential flash to that defense next season. So look out for the Cardinals as potential playoff shocks in the coming years. And the final guy I'm going to go ahead and, the second to last guy I'm going to put in this category is going to be Danny Dimes. Danny Dimes had a great season for the Giants last year. I believe he led the league in rookie touchdowns. Really shocked a lot of people as to how good he was. A little bit of a shocker for the Giants at that pick. A lot of people expected Dwayne Haskins, but I think he's going to be better than Dwayne Haskins in the long run, and the Giants might try to make a playoff push next season. It's going to be kind of a competitive division with the Cowboys, Eagles, always fighting for the top spot. The Redskins are going to be improved, and the Giants maybe look for them to be a little bit of a shocker team under the radar next season. And for me, the final guy that I'm going to go ahead and put in this category is going to be Josh Allen. Now, Josh Allen has made the playoffs in his career better than a lot of these other guys, but Allen lost that playoff game, so I need to see him win a couple of playoff games and really, take that starting job seriously. They have Jake Fromm in there now, good accuracy, but Allen has the physical tools, just needs to put it all together and really help the Bills make a deep playoff run. They acquired Stephon Diggs and improved his starting cast, so really expect him to take a big jump next season. Now we're moving on to the good category. These are guys that are almost elite, but not quite there yet, for me at least. And so we'll wait and see where I put these guys. But first, I'm going to go ahead and start off in the good category. And for me, the first guy that I'm going to go ahead and put in this category is going to be Carson Wentz. Now, Carson Wentz has had good supporting cast over his years. Last season, not at all, though. Towards the end of the year, he came in really clutch, helped lead the Eagles to the playoffs in that game over the Cowboys. And Miles Sanders is going to improve. We'll see Alshon Jeffrey. Can he be a number one wide receiver next season? They'll get back to Sean Jackson. They'll get back some other guys. They drafted Jalen Reagor, and we'll see a great supporting cast for the Eagles next season. So Carson Wentz might put up MVP-type numbers and be able to move up into that elite category. Next guy I'm going to go ahead and put in this good category with him is going to be Deshaun Watson. Now, Deshaun Watson has made a couple of playoff games, had a big lead over the Chiefs, but obviously Patrick Mahomes and them rallied back, won that game, and ended up winning the Super Bowl. Watson's going to lose DeAndre Hopkins, but they brought in Brandon Cooks, who I think a lot of people are underrated on, and I think he's pretty solid. So I see Deshaun Watson and the Bills probably not going to have a great record next season, but Watson's always going to put up great numbers no matter what supporting cast he's with, and he's always going to make superstar plays that are going to shock the heck out of you. So Watson is a great player, and he's in the good category for me. Next in the good category for me is going to be Matthew Stafford. Now, Stafford is a guy who hasn't made a ton of playoff games over his career, but he is putting up solid numbers. He had an MVP-type season last year before he got injured, and he was making great plays that you would, if you saw Patrick Mahomes make, you would be shocked. But Matthew Stafford is very underrated by a lot of people, and I think that the Lions are going to shock a lot of people next season with how good they play. I could see them earning a top seed in the NFC with their defense, Matt Patricia, that Bill Belichick coaching tree. And so we'll wait and see how much Matthew Stafford is able to perform next season, but I think he'll perform very well, and he is in this good category for me. The next guy I'm going to go and put in this category is Kirk Cousins. Now, Kirk Cousins, a guy who has won a few playoff games, especially last year, beat the Saints in overtime, and he puts up good numbers, not a lot of interceptions, but if he's going to move him in that league category, I need to see him perform better with a worse supporting cast. He seems like more of a game manager to me than an actual starting quarterback in our league. So if Kirk Cousins, does well without a good supporting cast, maybe he moves up into that league category for me. We'll have to see. The next guy that I'm going to put in here is going to be Dak Prescott. Now, I'm pretty high on Dak Prescott. I think he plays very good, and he's going to have a very good supporting cast next season. So if he doesn't, perform good, he may move down to that solid category. But he put up 30 touchdowns, 11 interceptions last season. Him and Carson Wentz are on the same level for me, and Deshaun Watson maybe a little bit higher than them, but Dak Prescott very solid. He does have a good running game, but for me, I just need to see him make less turnovers and less mistakes, and for that, expect him to improve next season as he has another year to grow and improve. So Dak Prescott in the good category for me. Now, we have 5 guys, and you may be expecting for all of them to go into that elite category, but hold on and wait a minute. The next guy that I'm going to put into the good category is going to be Lamar Jackson. Now, Lamar Jackson may be like, oh my gosh, Lamar Jackson made so many plays last season. How can you put him in the good category with these other guys who are total bums? They aren't good at all. All those Ravens fans out there, big trust or whatever. But Lamar Jackson is great. He makes great plays and everything, but he's not elite yet. I want to see him win a playoff game. The Ravens lost that playoff game to the Tennessee Titans. The Titans aren't even that good. They had a good defense, a good run game, but so did the Ravens. The Ravens had a great run game, a great defense, and an even almost on par passing offense. So the Ravens were better in every facet of the game than the Titans, and ultimately had the better coach as well. So I don't see how the Titans beat them. So Lamar, I need to see you win a couple playoff games, maybe even a Super Bowl, to be able to move into this elite category. And now we have 4 guys, and all these guys are going to the elite category. Hold on just a second. Drew Brees, do I see you here? You're going in the good category. Wow, what a shocker. So Drew Brees, I'm going to go ahead and put him in the good category, and here's why. Puts up good numbers, but he hasn't won a lot of playoff games recently. He has won a Super Bowl, but I need to see him be clutch in those playoff situations in order to really put him in that elite category with other guys like Russell Wilson, Patrick Mahomes. Those kind of guys, put him in the good category with Drew Brees. So Drew Brees, a very good quarterback, puts up good stats, but needs to win a couple more playoff games, maybe a Super Bowl next year to end his career for me to put him in the elite category before he retires. And now we move into the elite category, and we're going to start off with the obvious Russell Wilson. Now Wilson has played very well over the span of his career. Even as a rookie, came in and played very well. He's a guy I'm very high on. His size, not worrisome at all with the way he plays. If he had a better offensive line, you would see Wilson win 4 to 5 Super Bowls with Pete Carroll as his head coach. But Carroll's nearing the end of his career. And Wilson always has good playmakers. DK Metcalf, Will Dissly, Tyler Lockett, Rashad Penny, Chris Carson maybe. They just signed Carlos Hyde. So a few guys who Wilson will be able to succeed with, and they'll always be in playoff contention. The next guy I'm going to put into this category, obviously Patrick Mahomes. I'm going to put him in this elite category. May comes a little bit of a shock, but he did win a Super Bowl last season. Had a ton of comebacks. Always makes great plays. And he's clutch when you need him to be. He's never, stepped down from that position. He's, in my opinion, the best quarterback in this league, at least talent-wise, as a quarterback. And he has the best arm strength. And above all, he did win that Super Bowl and Super Bowl MVP. Maybe it could be debated between him and Damian Williams, who should have won that. But for me, Patrick Mahomes is in this elite category. Now the final guy, Tom Brady. This may be a little bit of a shock to everyone. Maybe should have put him in the good category. I don't know. Tom Brady is a very good quarterback. 6 Super Bowl rings. Always clutch. You're telling me that if the game's on the line and Tom Brady comes into the game for your team, you're not going to be hyped and stoked because you will win that football game? Tom Brady's always going to be a guy who's going to be competitive for his team and be able to win games for them. So I may be able to see a Super Bowl out of him, but he's going to start to decline. And so Tom Brady in the elite category for me. Thank you guys so much for watching another edition of SportStatMedia. If you enjoyed the video, go ahead and like it down below and subscribe to see more videos like this. If you disagree with anything I said, go ahead and comment your takes down below. But I think my list is the best list out there. I think it's very honest and open. But if you want to go and debate, go ahead and hit those comments down below. And, we'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. And be sure to stay tuned for upcoming things. But, yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching. And we'll see you in the next one.